Okay, so week 15, Star Wars week. Whoopee! Like May the 4th. You guys get that? Like May the 4th. Today's May the 4th. It's like May the Force be with you. It's like a Star Wars thing. You guys get that? I didn't get it for the longest time. I had a nephew who got married on May the 4th a few years back, and he made a joke about walking down the aisle as Darth Vader, and I was like, I don't get it. Then someone explained it to me. It makes more sense now. Anyways, um, I thought this would be a good opportunity to I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you guys some cool effects in After Effects that you can do. Stuff that you've probably seen before, whether in Star Wars or other movies, at least with the kind of laser blaster that we'll cover. The crawling text is pretty specific to Star Wars, but some of the other stuff we'll kind of cover um, can be used elsewhere. And the techniques are kind of good to know as well. So, welcome to week 15. We'll just be mostly working on your final project this week. Next week is finals. It's unofficial Star Wars Day. We'll be taking a look at some classics like crawling text, laser beams, lightsabers, and lightning shooting fingertips. So, I'd like you to include at least one of these sweet effects in your digital sketchbook this week. And speaking of, the prompt is DIY monster. So, um, what does a DIY monster look like? I don't know. You tell me. And this week's discussion, like I was saying earlier, will be about the best and worst special effects you've seen in a movie or TV show. So, what is it? Was it an action movie, a comedy, a rom-com, anything else in between? How old is the movie, and how does age play a part, and how good or bad those effects are? That's also one thing to really consider too. Something that looked really good, 40 years ago might look like not really good now. But at the time, that was, breathtaking, sitting on the edge of your seat special effects. So take that into consideration as well. Um, but like I said, otherwise this week we'll be looking at a few cool special effects, but I want you guys just to be working on your final project. Last week of class, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Let me see what you're working on. Come in on Thursday and get some feedback, all that kind of jazz, and just be ready. I also have a couple demos pulled from YouTube on here on this page. A lot of this is stuff that I'll be covering today. I won't make it to the hologram; it's a little involved, uh, but these effects or these tutorials are really great, and I think the longest one is only like 9 minutes. This video right here is just kind of this light path. It's not really necessarily a Star Wars effect, but it uses a lot of the same techniques as the lightsaber or the blaster kind of effect. So it's just something cool to kind of look at and learn. All right. Um, Again, the weekly sketchbook video. Actually, there you go. Again, this week's digital sketchbook is DIY Monster. So kind of weird, kind of specific, but I'd like you to use some of the stuff we'll be looking at today, at least one kind of technique, whether it be a lightsaber or blaster, or crawling text or whatever, at least one of those effects, and kind of make some sort of DIY monster. It can be a cat in a cardboard city, destroying a town and shooting lasers out its eyes. It could be a kid in the basement dancing around with a lightsaber, or anything in between. You can use monster loosely. And then finally, this week, best and worst special effects of all time. As the title implies, this week's discussion aims at highlighting the best and worst special effects you've ever witnessed. Um, you know, it could be a movie, it could be a TV show. Why do you think it's so bad? Why do you think it's so good? What's it from? How old is it? Is it believable? Is it believable now? Was it believable then? Um, and what do you think could be improved or unimproved? Mm, yeah, just some kind of sweet special effects and really bad special effects too. So that's it for this week. Pretty low key, not a lot going on. Um, yeah, that's it.